What's up, guys? It's your girl, Megan Rogers, and
Linda Marcus Smith.
We are Sassy Broad Squad, and we have Randy Mendez and Mendez. I'm sorry, I've been drinking some wine.
That's all
Randy
right.
Mendez.
Yes.
See. And, I've been drinking wine, and we're live. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're here for the Cinco de Mayo show at Harvey's Comedy Club.
Yes.
I'm the closest thing to a Mexican they could get for the show. I'm the half Mexican.
So, you live in Eugene.
I do.
Yeah.
Are you more on the Eugene comedy circuit, or do you just commute to come on up to Portlandia?
I kind of was trying to quit stand-up. Like, part of the reason we went to Eugene was raising my family and doing that kind of thing, because I don't like being on the road away from her.
Right.
But then also, I mean, I talked about on stage, it comes out anyways, so I still have to keep my foot in the game for a while.
Yeah,
until
comedy.
I learn how to behave around adults.
It's like, getting fisted, and then you realize you enjoy it, and you're like, well, I can't stop, and it keeps drawing me back in.
I'm already stretched out. Why?
I'm stretched out.
It is. It's
I've experienced it. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Fist me some more, comedy. Fist me some more.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take your word. All of that
And then it's fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs.
Yeah.
Like getting cuffed and then fisted?
Yeah.
Damn.
Especially if you work in an office and you come into Monday and you're like, your guys' stories are all fucking boring. I need to go to a show just so I can hear somebody that had an interesting weekend.
Right.
And they do it in that way where it's always like, hey, Randy, what'd you get up to this weekend? I'm like, I know you're only asking me so you can tell me, so just spit out your boring ass story.
Right, yeah.
But you're not allowed to talk like that at work.
It's like when boring people want to tell you their boring shit, and then you're nice because you're a decent human being, and you're just like, okay, well, tell me. And then you're thinking of other shit in your head. And, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be boring.
I feel like I'm ready to run half the time.
Yeah.
I'd say like there's an energy drain that you have, or like a battery that you have, and people start talking to you. And I had one recently where a guy was breaking down the components of something, and I remember I was like, oh shit, I don't know if I have enough to finish this. I might have to just be like, fuck off and run away.
Right.
And I don't have the social skills to know how to be like that. Oh, you know what? I don't even know what I'd say.
It's
I would just yell at and run.
It's so hard.
And I think it also pulls at my battery. Like, do you not see how boring you are and how you're holding me verbally hostage with your bullshit?
Yeah.
And, I want to Hulk out on him and be just like, fuck off, but I can't. And
and the worst is when somebody's trying to tell you a joke. That's when I just want to climb the walls. What about you? Does that drive you guys nuts?
I like to hear people's
comedy?
jokes.
You want to hear a joke, and 5 minutes later, they're still getting to the punchline.
A bad joke is pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
No, actually, you know what the worst are people that are like the people are like corporate teachers.
Yeah.
They're almost all of them are failed. They wish they could have done stand-up. And so, like, this is their time. They have a captive audience, and so they'll put in, like, a joke, and they'll put in a funny story, and, like, just do your job and tell us not to grab ass. Like, you're just a sexual harassment. Like, just tell us about how this process works. Don't try and entertain us. This will never be an entertaining presentation. No
well, I also love
do,
it when, like, they do crack a joke, and you can see the look on their face, like, you're not laughing.
Yeah.
And they do this.
That's a good face.
Guilt you.
Yeah, and then you're like, this is awkward. Maybe we should laugh before they go off.
Eye contact.
The worst is parent stuff, though. Like parent group, I'm pretty active with all like my parent activities, and having to behave in those things. When like you go to one, it's like an hour long, and someone's asked their like 7th question. Yeah. And you're like, I bet your kid's shitty. I know your kid is shitty. My kid tells me who. I got 9 names I'm thinking of right now.
Right.
I'm gonna guess which one your kid is.
It's like your kid is shitty because you're shitty.
Yeah.
Apple never falls far from the tree.
No.
Yeah, never.
That's why I don't have any kids. They would be assholes. Because I was an asshole when I was a kid. So, I mean, thanks, Mom, for spanking me. And
exactly.
I'd be in prison.
Me too. I was a brat.
I was terrible.
I was surprised my mom loved
He's like, why am I podcasting with them?
We're losers. Welcome to Loserville.
No.
There we go.
No, that was my plan, was not to have any. I remember I literally got angry when my wife started turning around and being like, been thinking about a kid. And I'm like, no, the reason I chose you specifically, we had this conversation.
Yeah.
And then it just kept chipping away. And then, I mean, okay, maybe that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And now you have an adorable child.
Yeah, she's 8. She's a pretty rad kid.
What's her name? She's adorable.
Tallulah is her name.
What a name.
Tallulah.
Yeah. She's got me wrapped pretty well.
Yeah.
Eric had a joke up there about how when we grew up, it was like all our dads was like, when your dad gets home and it's like, oh shit, I'm dead. I'm dead. Like my dad doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
And my kids my wife could never use that. She could never be like, when your father gets home, she'd be like, oh good, I need help with Minecraft.
Yes. My dad was like that too. But then my sister and I would beat each other up in the backseat. He'd be like, knock it off. And then he would get really scary and be like, I said stop. And we were just like those goats that pass out, just like, yeah. I mean, it's like when Dad yelled, because he was so mellow. He never yelled at us, but when he did yell, you done fucked up.
Yeah.
I did actually freak out with my wife a little bit. She thought that I had finally snapped because she and the kid were having some interaction. The kid misbehaved, but then my wife snapped at her and that upset her.
Yeah.
And my kid goes downstairs, and so I go down and I was like, hey, what you did was wrong.
Yeah.
I will say how your mother reacted was wrong as well. It didn't de-escalate, and kids, what's de-escalate? And I was like, well, you got to learn how to talk to people down. You can't just yell them into being calm. You can't just be like, I said calm down. Like nobody has ever calmed down. And she thought it was hilarious, and she's like, do another one. I was like, hey, chill the fuck out. And she was like, do another one. And we were just laughing about like the idea of it. And then we go upstairs and we're like, hey, and she apologized.
Right.
And the kid's like, oh man, Dad was making me laugh. And my mom, and then her mother is just like, oh my God, I thought you'd lost it down there. Was just screaming at the child, like, calm down, chill the fuck out.
She's like, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
You got up, and she was apologizing for how she acted.
Yeah.
She thought you were doing it too.
Yeah, it was pretty. Although she did pay me back one time, pretty good last year around this time of year. I come downstairs and the kid's looking at me and she's like, hey Dad, can I die today? I'm like, oh, fuck? What do you mean to say?
Yeah.
I want to die. And I'm like, what are you trying to say right now? And she's like, Mom said I could die. Why won't you let me die? And I'm like, what the fuck is even happening right now?
Right.
And we do this for like 35 seconds before all of a sudden I hear out of the kitchen, she means dye eggs. She wants to dye Easter eggs. And I'm like, why did you let that go on? You did that on purpose. That was... I'm having like an existential crisis over here.
You don't need your 8-year-old saying, why won't you let me die today? And you're just like, what?
And it's so creepy that my like logic brain isn't kicking in and letting me be like,
not
it's
before
around
I
Easter,
teach you about the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
Let's do that first. Then you can kick the bucket.
No, I get it. I mean, I would have panicked too and been like, die, no.
Yeah.
Easter? What is that? Ah. No,
what
that would have fucked
things
with me
is
too.
your daughter into?
Plays right now. She does a lot of plays. They do Broadway plays for like kids, and she really
locally,
likes that.
like in a local theater.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Aww.
Yeah, I think
she
I
gets her
like
theatric arts from you.
I guess her review. She's seen me perform one time at all because it's always in bars. And there was one year at Comic-Con. She got to come out a couple years ago. Aww. She was 6.
Which Comic-Con?
Rose City. I did that one there, and she comes and she got to actually see that one.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what do you think about your dad? You think he's pretty funny? You're cute, not funny.
Oh my gosh, that's so. I think like Kevin Hart was talking about like taking the kids. His daughter or something to see like Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my God. And he's like, your dad's a comic too. It's like, yeah, but you suck,
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so funny. It's like your friends, well, not friends, but like your family. Like my sister, she thinks my jokes are terrible. She's just like, ugh, again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I tell a joke, my sister says, I really like Ellen DeGeneres. I'm like, I know, you've told me 3,000 times. Is that a joke? Because I've heard it before.
And she's like, no, I'm just, making an observation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because that line gets a real big laugh. Maybe it is
really?
a joke. I don't know.
You're talking shit behind your back is what's...
Right. It's like, thanks. Love you too. I'm going to have to reevaluate your Christmas presents.
Yeah.
So are you still going to stay in
staying in Oregon, yeah, and then stand-up, I keep getting pulled back. I got Minority Retort in June next month.
Nice.
It's coming to Eugene, and they always guilt trip me. That's a really fun one, yeah. It's a really good one. I've done their show a couple times, and it's always a blast.
Who puts that on?
Oh, I can't remember exactly who puts it on. I know Jason Lamb, I think, and then also Julia Coughlin and someone else. And I feel bad that I'm spacing on who it is. Because every time I do their show, there's like a whole like rotating group back there. And all of them are just absolutely hilarious.
Right.
What's it like to live in Eugene with the college there? Because like you don't seem like you're an Oregon Duck fan.
No. No, I get every single time they have a game, basically it's me. Like, why can't I go to Albertsons?
Because it must be horrible to be there, stuck there, and not be a fan.
Are you from Oregon? Or?
I'm from around Oregon.
Okay.
And I spent my 20s in Eugene, and I spent it the right way, partying and smartly. See, what the kids on there are making the big mistake is by going to school.
Right.
I didn't go to school, so I could just party and have access to all the other 20-year-olds.
Right.
All the drugs and all the partying and all that kind of stuff. But there's not a lot. If you're an outdoors person, I bet it's lovely.
Right.
I am not an outdoors person.
I'm not an outdoors person either.
No.
And I tell people I'm not an outdoors person, and they insist on telling me what kind of fucking tree is what. I'm just like, I could give two shits less. I mean, great. Trees are awesome. We need them to live, but I don't want to know its name. I'm just like, I'm good. Like, hello, tree. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And I get annoyed with it because it's like, I know. I could tell you every character in Marvel Endgame and what their original story was. And, like, everything that differs from the I don't do that because that's my shit. And I'm not going to push it on you in the way that people that love the outdoors are like, I know a creek. I will never see that creek. I will die without seeing that creek.
I'm not going to go look at that fucking creek.
No.
Yeah, I don't push my nerd shit on people either. I mean, if I catch the, like, hey, you saw Game of Thrones? Like, fuck yeah. And it's like, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, hey, you know, the tree people need to realize, or the plant people, like, hey, did you see that tree? And be like, fuck yeah, tell me about it. Then let it out. You know, tell them the species and when it pollinates and all that other crazy bullshit. Don't force your shit, man.
I know.
And it's okay.
Who know a lot, they just drive me nuts. Like, it's great to know a lot, but you don't have to superimpose your values on other people.
Yeah.
Know a lot. Be a geek. Be whatever you are, nerd, geek. I don't care. Just be it. You know, and be normal in public. Like,
yeah. I mean, you don't have to be completely normal, but just kind of read the room.
Yeah. Read the room.
Read the room.
I know a lot about World War II, but I don't say, do you know how Hitler got in power? You know, like, it's not a table topic.
No.
It's
almost never. Yeah.
It's never a table topic. Yeah. I mean, it's like Hitler's like,
this might be a bad
tell me
example.
about them trees again. She loves to high five. Just do it. She is a high fiving motherfucker. Just high five him right now. I know you want to. Woo!
I do.
There you go.
Old people do high fives. I can't help it.
You're not that old.
68.
Well, Mo Mandel said I was older, so I win.
Okay. Well, I have art bags, AARP.
Yeah.
The senior club.
Yeah,
I got art bags that can vote.
Sweet.
That's a pretty good.
Well, then
it's like a weird diss. But
yeah, right.
Weird dissing on myself. Yeah. Self-deprecating.
I like self-deprecating. I'm all about that too. So where can we find you on social media to see future events of comedy that you're trying to leave and keep sucking you back in? Like your dirty whore girlfriend.
That you don't have because you're married.
He's like, you don't know what it's Oregon. Hey, Polly.
We never called it that. No, that was actually one of my first jokes ever. Was about because we were like open before there was like a thing called open when nobody talked about it.
Really?
And then it was like, oh, so you guys are like swingers? Like, no, they're gross. So that's the thing. We don't want to talk about it like we're them.
Yeah.
Like, those are the kind of people that are just way too eager. They're like, hey, you want to fuck my wife? You're like, you want to tell me your name first?
Yeah.
Calm down just a little. So
yeah.
It's definitely a weird. Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of people, like with the dick pics and let's like get straight to sex. I'm like, dude, can I know your name first? Yeah. It's like I I'm not.
Right. I kind of like where we are right now because I get to like dip my toe into things like, like dating and things like that.
Right.
But I don't have any stakes at all. It's the best way to possibly date. Like, if this date's shitty, oh no, I go home to my wife and kid. I fail into like that. So
nice.
I like to think I'm becoming a professional. I'm good at getting broken up with. I'm great with it. I love it.
Wow.
I'm like, good. My calendar just opened up. Jesus Christ. Between like play and like PTO meetings and all that kind of stuff.
Do you get ghosted?
I do.
I can't remember the last time I got ghosted. It's kind of a commitment to get into. There's a lot that you get in. Yeah. If you get involved with me.
Well, Linda, you get ghosted?
I get ghosted because I write 9 paragraphs.
Yeah, that's usually, I would ghost too.
Yeah.
But, like I send, how you doing? Like they'll say, a guy, I'll say, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Send, oh, shoot, I forgot to say. And then I'll send another. It looks like I'm a stalker.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to, it's like I'm overcompensating for forgetting something. Or think of something else that, and I don't wait for them to reply, and I get ghosted because
you know what? I've ghosted on things like that, but only because it feels like when you get just, the short text thing, you can respond to that. And then somebody writes you something, and every time you look at it, like, okay, when I need to respond to that in same kind.
Yeah,
so when I have, like, a good 40-minute chunk of free time, I'll sit, you know what? I don't have a 40-minute chunk
I don't have 40
time.
minutes to sit there and read every little thing and then decipher, like, well, what is the message they're trying to convey? Yeah. It's just too much work.
Yeah.
I did better this week with you, didn't I?
You did.
I did. I'm working on it.
You're going to ghost her?
No, I complain about it. I'm like, Linda, fuck. If you send me, 80 pages of text messages, I'm not going to read them.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, I'm not the best communicator in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, please.
Brevity.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, reply with the least amount of words to everybody. I texted one guy today, and I said, how you doing? I hadn't seen him in a day and a half. That's a problem, right? So he's just a young kid. I said, hey, how you doing? And he goes, I'm in the middle of doing something right now. Is there something you specifically need right now? So I get it.
You were like, I must have sent him 50 page
so I wrote,
text message.
I said, no.
Good job.
Just like,
here, Linda.
Yeah, I'm working this out.
Yeah.
No.
Good job.
Nothing I need right now, no.
Well,
how's that?
And I don't just ghost on people like that text too much. I also ghost on people that have these crazy demands of me.
Yeah.
That's
I'm just big one.
Yeah. It's like, okay, if you're willing for me to run around the moon for you just to gain some sort of strange acceptance without you treating me like less than a human being, no, you're getting ghosted, bitch. I'm just like, I ain't doing that. Good luck to you. Godspeed.
This is a lot more dating specific.
I know, right? No, I never get to talk about dating.
Never.
And I quit dating 2 years ago, and it was just bad. I mean, men my age, they would say something weird like, yeah, I've dated younger and hotter women. I'm just like, wow, cool story, dude. Thanks. I'm like, then why just swipe right on me and agree to go out with me?
It's the weirdest nagging thing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that pickup artist stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
pickup artist. What's this?
It's just these skills, and it's a weird one, like what you're saying, where they
aggressive, manipulative bullshit that
and they want you to feel crappy about yourself, despite the fact that they selected you.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Point.
Yeah. No, I remember, I didn't know it existed, but I remember a lot of men would just say shitty things to me for no reason.
That's
what the fuck is his problem? I'm like, I don't even know this guy. And then I was like, and then I heard about pickup artists, and I was like, oh, why not just say you like me?
Yeah.
Would
that be so terrible? Would that be so tough?
There was some bitch in his life that fucked him up. And now he's just like...
Is that what happens?
No, this is what the problem is. They need somewhere in high school or middle school. We have sex ed and things like that. They need another version of this where they just have every boy ask the girl out, and her job is to just be like, no. and he has to walk away and just deal with it. Like, they're not taught. They're just, that's like an aggressive act to them, and so they need to like lash out back. They need to teach these boys how to like take no for an answer. That's not the end of the world. You swiped right on 30 people today. You can take a no. You can take, learn to deal with it.
Learn to deal. Yeah, I get rejected all the time. I mean, I'm just like, all right, sweet.
Have you ever been on a date and you're not feeling it and you start spilling all your baggage just to make them ghost you?
I have, and it doesn't work. It does not work.
Yeah, and that wouldn't work on my end.
It does not work.
Let's make them work.
I mean, one time
works
there was this weirdo. One time he was like, "I like you and I want to kiss you," and I did have a cold sore, so it wasn't a lie. I'm like, "I have herpes," and he's like, "It's okay, so do I." And I was like, "Ah!" Yeah, it was just so terrible, and I'm like, "No, I tried that. It's." When they're crazy, and crazy's just gonna stick to you like fucking gum on your shoe, dude, or dog shit that you just can't get rid of.
If I get that gut feeling that something's wrong with this, I'll start saying, "Yeah, got hit by a drunk driver. I've got a little bit of residual brain damage. No big deal."
Yeah.
You know? And I've been in 36 ambulances, being allergic to everything basically in the grocery store.
Right, but you stay,
they're
right?
They're gone by then.
Oh, they are.
Oh, they're out the door. They can't even hang with that. You know, like.
Well,
like,
you're lucky.
I am lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would get me? If they were rude to the server. That's what I would be. If they started being rude to the server, then I'd be like, okay, well, I will never speak
you
again.
Pretend you get that emergency phone call. Oh my God, something bad happened. I gotta go. Yeah. No, if they're rude to the server, or if they're just like they don't make eye contact, like I'm better than you and you're gonna wait on me. It's just like, no. You suck. Yeah. Yep. I don't like that either.
What's the best dating experience you've had?
Oh, God, that's like...
Give me one.
40. You know, one of the best ones was in high school. Me and this girl that I liked went to Speed 2. It was a god-awful movie. But the best part was we realized it was an awful movie about like 15, 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
So we started making fun of it to the screen, and the people in the theater didn't mind.
Right.
And so we just, like, at some point, we were literally doing a race along the armchairs. And yelling Speed as we, like, did it. And it was just a lot, like, that was not where I saw that date going in the beginning.
And that's where your comedy career...
It might have. I
fruition.
A few really funny girls in high school, and those were the ones that I always liked the most. So.
Yeah. No, I like the funny ones.
Me too.
I dated this one guy. He looked like the guy from Mad Magazine. But but he made me laugh so hard, and everybody was like, "He's fucking gross." I'm like, "He's fucking awesome. I love this dude. He taught me."
Oh my
sad dick. He was too good.
Funny goes a long way.
It does. No, if you can make me laugh, I prefer that over like hot and boring. You know, if I can't talk to you, maybe it's for visual people. You know, more. I don't believe that all men are visual and all women are this and that. You know. Yeah,
I think
visual. You should have seen Linda. Where's that? Yeah, he ran.
Man,
dude, I'd never seen her like that. I was like, Linda.
We're gonna get sued.
Yeah. And like, she went full throttle on Eric, and he was like, "Bring it! I don't care."
He was so fun to tease, and there was no stop. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't saying stop. So
he held it like a champ. I was expecting him to be like, but yeah. He was good. Yeah.
See, that's a diss.
I mean, I kind of would expect it if I did, but no, he was like, "No, it's good. It's good." I'm like, "All right, sweet."
Nice.
I just don't want to get beat up by his wife.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Just wives. I get it. I was married before, and I'm like, I will break that bitch's legs. Fuck her. You know, where's the razor blades and the Vaseline? Be like, hold my hair back. You know.
Should bring that up when you want to get ghosted.
One time when I was married, we went into a party. Yeah. And when my husband and I walked into this room, everybody started dying laughing, and they were all his coworkers.
Yeah.
So I wasn't part of whatever the hell was going on. Turns out there was this an hour before when Gary, my ex, was taking a shower. He had a great big bruise on his leg. And evidently he had tried to Me Too somebody at the office, and she decked his ass backwards over the desk to the next desk, and that's how he got the bruise. But that's not what he told me. But when I walked in and everybody laughed, then people came up and told me the real story, how he got the bruise. So
wow, that's
when were you married to him?
74 to 80.
And where did you live?
I met him in Germany, in Hanau, Germany.
But where did you live? Were you in Florida?
Yeah, we did for a while.
Okay, check this out. I would have poisoned his ass, fed his ass to the alligators, and been like, I think he just ran away.
Gators. Yeah. Gators.
See,
they like that.
Y'all are lucky that I wasn't around in the 70s because,
yeah, down in Florida.
He would have been gone. I would have hated it. I would have hated it for him.
It was either a suicide, homicide, or divorce, so I took the high road.
I choose homicide.
If you're listening, Gary, I love you. We have a child together.
Oh, all out of love.
So your daughter's name again was?
Tallulah Bale.
Well, you name her after Tallulah Bankhead?
It was in there. That was it's just the dumbest idea possible because Tallulah was such a wild child. Aww. So I have nobody to blame but myself if she turns out that way.
No.
You know who Tallulah Bankhead is?
No, I do not.
Old actress. One of her most famous quotes was, and this is, mind you, this is a long time ago. It's just like black and white era.
Right.
Was Daddy always warned me about the booze and the men. He never warned me about the cocaine and the women.
Damn, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty, modern for back then, too.
Isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely known as Hollywood's wild child. So.
Wow, I'll have to look her up. Because Demi Moore and Bruce Willis have a daughter named Tallulah.
Yep.
So I always just...
And that's no rumor. Pardon the pun.
Good job. She's good at the puns. She's very good at the puns.
If they ever make a comeback, I'll be rich. But they're not making if puns ever make a comeback, if those become the hot new comedy thing.
I think you can make them work. You just got to make them work. Everybody's punny in their own way. And pithy.
Yeah.
Punny and pithy.
I want one person on the planet to think I'm a wordsmith before I croak. I don't know if it'll happen. Do you ever, people that are wordsmiths, do you ever think, oh, God, you're such a wordsmith?
No.
I'm not
I appreciate people who can do those kind of jokes, but the thing is, every time more than a laugh, I get oh, I see what you did.
Yeah. I see what you did. Haha. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate what you did there.
Yeah.
That doesn't exactly kill when you're on stage.
True.
That's so true. It's like a magic act, and you saw it coming.
No, you didn't even see it coming. You're I give it to you.
I give it to you.
I don't have a guttural noise to make when I hear one of those things. Yeah.
We should do that. Every time we hear a pun, we'll just be like,
I'd like that.
They're like, oh, they must have made a pun.
Not only do I see what you did there, I saw it coming, but...
coming.
That is the noise, actually, when I can see it.
I love the jokes where people go, and they roll their eyes.
Yeah.
I do those.
You do those kind of jokes?
Once in a set, I will do one just to see them roll their eyes. I do.
I get a lot of this.
It's funny. Half the time, the fun is watching them really think, oh, God, do I have to? I do have to. I got to get a reaction. Okay, I'll roll my eyes.
I remember doing one set, and I saw this chick just kind of staring off in the corner, just like that. And I was like, fuck. This sucks. I suck.
You never know. I remember I had a show I did up in Seattle where I was featuring up there. And it was just pulling teeth on every joke. And you're I got to get all the best stuff. And they're not staying with me. And it was awful. And then the show gets out, and 3 or 4 come up to me. He's like, hey, just wanted to let you know I really enjoyed your show. I'm like, I don't give a shit now. I don't need this now. I needed you to there's a noise that lets me know that I'm doing well. And I would take that better than just that
so
stare.
True.
Yeah, that you could just cut the air with a knife.
Uh-huh.
That's so weird. Shang, he came and we podcasted with him, and he said that he's dealt with audiences that make it a point to go to comedy shows and not laugh.
Oh, that's why tonight they always ask, like, what's your credits? And I'm like, don't even bother. Number one, I'm about to go on stage, so I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like, I'm not, and number two, the more credits you give, the more you're giving, like, 8 of them. Like, all right, that was funny, but that wasn't Comedy Store funny.
Yeah.
Now, just I'll surprise them.
That's actually cool. kind of a good idea. Yeah, you don't want to give away all your assets.
I've seen the audiences sometimes, like, they know that somebody's the host, someone's a feature, someone's a headliner. And I've seen them laugh harder at the headliner, even though the headliner isn't funnier, just because it's the headliner. And that just fries my goat. Don't give somebody more of a laughter than they really deserve just because of the position in the lineup, you know.
Well, I get what you're saying, but also to be fair, they're paying to see that headliner, so they're actually they gel with their So I mean, even though like you see this like feature or opener, and you're like, God damn, where have you been my whole life?
Yeah.
But and the audience isn't laughing, and they're laughing at the headline. They're fans of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that too.
But see, we're like seasoned professionals.
Yeah.
We are connoisseurs of comedy.
I laugh when, like, either I'm laughing and I can't stop laughing because the last guy was funny. Now you come out, so I'm laughing at everything because I'm still not done. I've done it, and it just makes me mad because it's phony. It's a type of being a phony.
Yeah.
But I can't stop laughing. And so, or I'm laughing because what you're saying is so unique, and, you're saying it in a way that I never expected. You're surprising me. Then I'm laughing.
I have the bad habit of laughing at wildly inappropriate things that don't get laughter. But that makes me laugh. Like, oh my, I can't believe you just thought that would work in front of this audience. They'll do some pedophile joke, and it's like that air, and I'll just be like, oh, and then I'm like, oh great, I encouraged him. Now he's gonna be like, oh, that one worked.
That one worked. Pedophile it is.
I just
right.
Wow, that was some balls on you that you decided.
I do that too. Like, what happened? There was an open mic, and this one dude, he was just bombing so bad, and he just kind of put his head down. He's like, "Why am I doing this?" And it cracked me up the way hilarious. He said it, and I was like, "Ah! Why am I doing this?"
I knew
I needed. I've been there, dude.
I went to a comedy open mic before I started doing comedy, and there was a guy up there bombing. And he was saying everything he was thinking like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, God, that didn't work. Oh, I'm bombing.
Yeah.
And then he said the wrong thing. He said, I don't know what I should do. And I couldn't shut up. And I wasn't because I was drinking. I had an answer, and I blurted it out. And I said, just make fun of us Jews.
Vocal text messages.
And the whole place erupted with laughter. I'm like, dude, I need to think about doing comedy. It worked, though.
Yeah, it did work.
And sometimes don't you find hecklers say some really funny shit?
I hope not. I don't like that at all.
You don't?
I know some comics love it and they want to come back, but I have such a hard time. Like, I'm really scatterbrained and super ADHD, and so if somebody says something that's even funny, I'm like, what? Where? Who? What did I just say?
Yeah.
Where am I at? I don't have notes because I'm a professional.
Right.
Yeah.
Could anybody tell me the last 10 things I just said?
Right.
Yeah,
because you're so in the moment that, like, as soon as a moment passes, you're at the next moment, and it's just
It's
I'm like that too.
Just because of that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, the funny thing is, like, you can still see it barely on my hand. I always write my set on my hand.
I can kind of see that.
It's starting to go out there.
I told you, Linda, to do that.
But here's the funny thing is,
but I can't read
I've never read it. I have been on stage and, like, in a just cold sweat panic of, like, oh shit, I can't remember what I was going to say next. I can't remember to say it. Fortunately, I wrote it down in my hand. That would be so inappropriate and unprofessional. Look at your hand, and so you're like, now I can't look at it, even though it's right there. And it's like the weirdest phobia that comes over me.
Can't you, like, pretend to see? Achoo. Ooh. Okay. No snot and.
No, like, it's some, like, point of pride where, like, you're a professional, goddammit.
Yeah.
You will remember this. I'm like, well, why are we writing it? Well, now we're just arguing in our head on stage.
I argue with myself
get our shit together?
All the time. Yeah. And I say that. I'm like, Meg, get your shit together, goddammit. And then I'm like, why are you yelling at me?
That was the first phrase where I realized I had to stop monitor my swearing in front of the kid when she was really little, and somebody cut me off in traffic and get your shit together.
Yeah.
And then it's in the back of here, shit, yeah. Shit, yeah. I'm like, stop that before we get home. Please.
Oh my gosh. I have a 6-year-old nephew and a 3-year-old niece, and I panic when I'm in the car and I feel like people drive so fast and close and aggressive to me, and I'm like, I got these 2 little people and they're not even really mine, and if I kill them, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. And I'm like, God, get off me, asshole. And my niece was like, I not asshole. And then they went out of town. I watched the kids, and then I left, and I came back a couple weeks later, and she sat on my lap and was like, I not asshole. And I panicked, and my sister's like, yeah, she's been saying that a lot now, Megan. I was like,
you're welcome.
I know. You're welcome. At least she won't have to learn it from school like I did. Okay, so I will post all of your social media below, and we can find you if we want to see you again.
And we do.
Yeah. What's the best way to find it? Like Facebook? You got a website?
Facebook's easiest, or any of it's Old Man Rendo on all of them.
Old Man Lindo.
Rendo, Rendo.
Rendo.
That's the name my father. He could not pronounce my own name until Randy. He's Mexican, and he could not pronounce. My full name's Randall. And so he called me Rendo for the first 9 years of my life. Wow. And so friends would be by. I'm like, who's Rendo? I'm like, my father can't pronounce my name. Can we play at your house today?
Right. Rendo. I like that.
Yeah. So that's
Did he roll the R's? Rendo.
No, because he was trying to say it. But yeah, otherwise he would roll the R's.
Cute. How did your parents meet? I'm like morbidly curious. Yeah. Because
I have no idea. I don't. Like the biggest mystery myself is I don't know. Still, they always just sort of. I asked them point blank several times.
Me too.
Like my name is Randall Bryan, and those are my first and middle name.
Yeah.
My brother and sister both got Hispanic first names, and they got my parents' middle names, of which I got neither, and I'm the oldest.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So they were just winging shit, I guess, when I came around.
Right.
They I don't know, we met somehow, and you showed up, and we stuck a name on you, and then your brother and sister showed up, and we decided, let's take this seriously. So,
that's crazy.
I'm the opposite. Like, my brother and sister, they got all the names from everybody, and then I came along as, fuck, Linda, Susan, whatever.
I'm the first one. I got the most generic name, Megan Rogers. I mean, you cannot.
That's it.
You can't fuck it up. It's Megan Rogers. I mean, pretty white, pretty generic.
Yeah.
People will still find a way to fuck it all up. I'm like, really? All right, sweet.
People work hard to read in between the lines. Like, how difficult can it be?
Well, I mean, I appreciate them trying to give me some flair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of nice.
Cool.
All right, so back to your social media, because we're tangent talking, which I super find fun, because that means you're like, you got lots of interest and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to get, audience to come see you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
shameless plug.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Old Man Rendo.
Old Man Rendo.
Yeah.
You've been so awesome.
Thank you so much.
Really I didn't know what to expect, but this was.
Yay.
I know when you say it's fun, that's what I look for. If you're just like,
I love your outfit. They're not saying I like your earrings. They're saying the whole thing.
It's like, you've got the whole outfit. You looking good, girl. I'm like, yeah, I tried.
This was
I'm
fun.
wearing 4 pairs of Spanx.
So now we get to end the show by saying, who would you rather, Megan or me? He's laughing. I don't know if I like the laugh.
No,
I think he would probably take us both.
That's a new one.
Yeah, because
embarrassing him.
He's open, so I'm sure it's not his first rodeo.
No.
It'd be mine. I'd be like, what goes where, who does what?
You know what? Some people just need support. Somebody goes and gets water for everyone else.
What else do you need?
What? So I got to do all the fucking?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I already said that I wanted to be the voyeur, because I wouldn't get. Yeah. So I want to be the voyeur just because I don't have to worry about showering afterwards. Because
that's a nice.
Yeah. I'm like, thanks for the sex, guys. See you later.
Be the voyeur. I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, we could go out and eat. I'll pay.
Wow.
You all fuck, I watch, and I'll pay for dinner.
I'm into that.
Planned my weekend well. Yeah.
That was my sister watching.
Hi.
She's like, what were you talking about?
My mom's probably going to be like, well, how much is that dinner? I have coupons to Olive Garden. We're family.
So much family in this conversation.
Okay, so make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit the notification button, and comment below. And we'll have
join our party sometime.
Yeah, join our party. Yeah. I'll pay.
Come
Thanks
back.
for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.